Today is a warm, dark September 30th, 2024, finishing up a rather busy month. We are at the new Hyde Park station on the triple track, Long Island Railroad. This is going to be my last AM rush hour video that I'm going to get. While the weather's still warm, I might as well take advantage of it. And we'll see a lot of action here in the next 3 hours. It's just a little before 6 a.m. Well, our first customer at 6:01 is train 1609 from Huntington to Grand Central. It's still pitch black out, kind of warm for September 30th. It's about 61 degrees. Not the crisp autumn air that I yearn for so much this time of year. Still dark as midnight, but I can see a faint glimmer of light to the east. Very peaceful in New Hyde Park at this hour. You can hear the crickets chirping. Well, at 6:07, here comes our first westbound diesel train. Train 609 out of Port Jefferson to Long Island City. Departs Port Jeff at 4:52 a.m. Leads the rush hour fleet in towards New York City destinations. At 6:17, approaching his train 1511 from Huntington to Penn Station. He's got Bud M3s. As the sky begins to brighten, looks like we'll have some sun here. This train seems to have M3s, at least the last 1 or 2 visits I've made to the main line. Are we having a thunderstorm? Saw an awful lot of thunderstorm activity on the ground. These are not long for this world. They're going to be eventually replaced by newer order of M9s. There's an eastbound equipment move at 6:23. He's chasing 1608 to Huntington as far as Hicksville. See a lot of eastbound deadheads on track 2. Tracks 3 and 1 are used primarily for westbounds this time of day. Here comes train 1017, Rock Hockham to Penn at 6:25 and 9s.
The 6:28.
This area once had 3 grade crosses that they sounded their horns for. New Hyde Park Road to the east, 12th Street to the west, and Covert Avenue to the west. There they're all gone now. Time is 6:29. Here comes 6:11. No, not the steam engine. This is a Port Jefferson to Long Island City train coming out of the twilight. Well, approaching at 6:33 is train 1611 from Huntington to Grand Central, coming out of a beautiful sky. They say red sky in the morning, sailor take warning, but I don't think it's going to rain today. Still in twilight. Sun doesn't rise until 6:50. Here's 2501 Westbury to Penn Station, makes every stop except Woodside. Here's 505 from Oyster Bay to Penn Station. Approaching at 6:50 is train 2015, Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. This is a real hot shot. Makes all stops Ronkonkoma to Deer Park, Jamaica, and then Grand Central Terminal. At 6:53, we should have a near meet here. Coming east behind me is 1912. Penn Station to Ronkonkoma, and approaching from the east is train 35 from Spionk to Long Island City. This MU should pass first. Westbound, we got a drag race on 3 and 1. 35 is first, Spionk to Long Island City. Approaching kind of slow behind a train ahead at 6:59 is train 508, Jamaica to Oyster Bay. You won't be stopping. Time is 7:05. The sun has risen for about 15 minutes. I don't know what that sound is. Approaching is train 613, the dual mode train from Port Jefferson to Penn Station. Well, 7:12 as the sun is starting to shine brightly in the east. Train 1613, Huntington to Grand Central. Getting ready to stop and pick up a load of people here. Oh, there's a nice M7 Echo. Get him starting up. Might get blanked out by an eastbound here. We're good. Listen to this Echo. Do the M9s make echoes? I don't know if I've ever heard of chalk scraping echoes. 507, Oyster Bay to Jamaica. Chalk scraping, comparing chalk scraping with M9 traction motors versus a C3 horn. I don't know which is worse. I'd have to give the unfortunate edge to the C3 horn. I mean, it's like comparing chalk scraping with or without a migraine headache. Well, approaching Westbound at 7:18 is train 1515, Huntington to Penn Station. M9s, you won't be stopping here. This is 1610 from Grand Central to Huntington. M9s. At 7:22, we're going to have a drag race. First is 37 from Spionk to Long Island City, followed by 1917 from Ronkonkoma to Penn. The race is on. what makes this triple track speedway so exciting during the rush hours. I'm 6:15 from Port Jefferson to Hunters Point Avenue at 7:28. With a rather filthy number 509 shoving. He's got a K5 LLA horn, but unfortunately, we won't get to hear it. Right, approaching at 7:32.
Is now arriving on track 3. Please activate e-tickets now and step over
This
the
train
gap.
2699 from Hicksville to Grand Central with M9s. And I've noticed a lot of arcing at the third rail off of this track when trains pull out. Let's see what happens with this. Yeah, that's chalk scraping I can live with. Right around that spot, when it comes off the third rail, is where I've been seeing some ferocious arcing, especially on that M3 set. And one of the M7s put up a few too. Not quite as dramatic as the M3 though. Wasn't bad, a few mini sparks, but nothing consequential. 7:38, here's 1919 from Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. Speeding down track number 1. Tell you, the triple track action here is great, but I remember the days when it was 2 tracks and there were grade crossings all around, lots of horn blowing. I've made recordings of diesels going through here with the horns. It's hard to believe that's history. Well, approaching westbound at 740 is train 509 from Oyster Bay to Hunters Point Avenue. Feels like it's going to be kind of a cool, damp day, but no rain in the forecast. Give me some of that autumn chill. Hopefully by the latter part of this week we'll get it. This is 2012, Grand Central to Ronkonkoma flying through. Here's train 2103 from Farmingdale to Penn Station at 7:50. saw a three-way meet here at 7:52. Train 39 from Spionk to Penn Station passed them by, and nearest to me was an eastbound equipment train. .54, that was 15:17. Huntington to Penn Station. Train pulling out was 21:03 ahead of it that I called 15:17. They come fast and furious. You can easily get train numbers mixed up. 6:17, Port Jefferson to Long Island City at 7:55. .57, here comes 2019. Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. 26:01 from Westbury to Atlantic Terminals, right behind them, about to stop here. .58, here comes 26:01 from Westbury to Atlantic Terminal. One of the few trains that come through from island destinations to Atlantic Terminal. For the most part, it's the shuttle from Jamaica. A lot of people don't like those Brooklyn shuttles out of Jamaica. They're all saying they should put it back the way it was and run shuttle trains to Grand Central, but you don't build a multi-billion-dollar terminal to run shuttle trains to. Comes another dual mode at 8:02. This is 5:13 out of Oyster Bay to Penn Station. Coming east at 8:05 is train 608 from Jamaica to Port Jefferson. I noticed he switched from track 1 to 2 at Park 3 interlocking. That's a fairly new interlocking west of here. .1921 Ronkonkoma to Penn at 8:17. The M9s. More are on the horizon. When they're delivered, they will replace the Bud M3s, which have been around for 40 years. Okay, approaching Westbound at 8:21 will be a long-distance train, Train 7, Montauk to Long Island City. Now, 619 from Port Jefferson to Penn Station is on time, which it seems like it never is. Those two trains are neck and neck through here. They both stop at Mineola. And the other day, well, about a month ago, I did Mineola, and both 7 and 619 stopped there simultaneously. 619 was on 3, and 7 was on 2. Well, here comes 7 going solo, no 619 to compete with. have another Montauk player going through. Train number 4. All right, coming fast westbound at 8:27 is 619, the last of the dual modes. Port Jefferson to Penn Station. He's running about 4 minutes late. He's just picking up speed after making his Mineola stop. Approaching eastbound on track 2 at 8:30 is kind of a classic train. This is train number 4 from Jamaica to Montauk. He's starting on what will be about 400 plus miles of traveling today. This equipment goes out on 4, comes back on 13, goes out on 18, comes back from Montauk on 21. Years ago, this train used to be a day trip done by a very senior crew, go out as 4 and come back as 9. Used to carry a baggage car, mail car, coaches. Sometimes it had a parlor car on it. Train used to stop at Mineola to pick up news days, and they would deliver those along the way out east. And the train even stopped at South Farmingdale on the way, if you can believe that. That was a little rinky-dink stop, which was discontinued decades ago. First stop is Babylon, so he won't be picking up any newspapers in Mineola. Coming from behind at 8:34 is 2014 Grand Central to Ronkonkoma. Coming next is train 1623 from Huntington to Grand Central. He makes Cold Spring Harbor, Syosset, Jamaica, and Grand Central, a real high wheeler. Right behind him is 1031 from Ronkonkoma to Penn Station. Time is 8:42. Approaching east on 1 is train 510 from Jamaica to Oyster Bay. He'll be switching over to track 3 at Nassau 1. Dual mode set. Well, approaching at 8:50 is the last of the through trains to the city from Port Jefferson. This is train 621, Port Jefferson to Hunters Point Avenue. Stick around for a few more minutes and get one more diesel. 515 Oyster Bay to Long Island City. Strapper will be riding on that. Well, 8:52. This is 2021 Ronkonkoma to Grand Central. Speeding down number 1 track. Last train I'm going to get here at 9:03 is 5:15, poking along behind the previous 15:21 from Huntington. I'm sure Strapple is not happy about this. Not sure why they didn't switch them over to 1. I saw him. He had his iPhone light on.